Teachers and online tutors, did you know there's 3 reasons why you need to niche down when it comes to building a thriving online tutoring business? Whether you're looking to start one or whether you're looking to grow and scale your online tutoring business. If you do not niche down, you will not attract the right students, they're not going to pay you the right amount, and plus you will not have a compelling marketing message. So let's jump into this video and I'll show you the 3 reasons why you need to niche down as an online tutoring business owner. Let's jump in. So if you're an online tutor wanting to scale your online tutoring business, or if you're a teacher wanting to launch and grow your own online tutoring business, there's 3 reasons why you need to niche down as a tutor to scale the impact that you can have and help more students, actually have a teaching schedule where you're not working and teaching 24/7 and marking until midnight, and also have an uncapped income potential. Now, this doesn't matter if you're starting from scratch or if you're already tutoring online. In this video, I'll break down the 3 main reasons why you need to niche down. I'll give you some marketing templates that you can go and use to start attracting your ideal students. So let's jump right in. So here's what I'm going to be sharing. I'm going to be walking you through the 3 reasons why tutors should niche down. Okay, and this comes down to 3 things. 1, attracting the right students. 2, the ability to help you price your services at premium. And 3, this sets you up to create a winning marketing offer. Because here's the thing, when you're just getting started as an online tutor, or if you're a solo tutor and you're looking to grow and scale your business, you've got to remember inside of the marketplace, there's a lot of big players out there who've got unlimited marketing budgets, who can outspend you. So you need to be able to cut through the noise and actually stand out and not blend in like a pebble on the beach. Okay, and if you're unable to do that, you get stuck relying on referrals, which is just slow. It's an unpredictable way to grow an online tutoring business. It means you end up building a glorified job, stuck on a hamster wheel of teach, eat, sleep, repeat, trying to grind it out for students, just relying on seasons to grow your business rather than having a predictable stream of students you can enroll and speak to each and every single week and month. Okay, so the first thing we'll look at is the reason of making sure that you can attract the right students. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to jump into. So the first reason why you should niche down is so that you can actually attract the right students. So if you think of it like this, if I'm a math tutor or a science tutor or a language tutor, and I go and launch my services out there and I say, hey, I can help K through 12, or I can help primary and secondary school students if you're in the UK in the subject of French or science or English, whatever it is. Well, then you appeal to so many different age groups, right? So many different students, different abilities and different issues, different students who want different results, all of this. And that ultimately means that you're probably going to get a few students, but you do blend in. You're a commodity. You're not a specialized tutor. All right, now I'll come on to that in step 2 on how this enables you to price your services, and I'll give you some examples of how quickly you can scale your income once you get this first step right. So if I'm then pulling in all different types of students, then I'm going to end up having to place those students in different time slots on my schedule. Now, if you think of a taxi driver, right, a taxi driver can only do so many rides per day, can only pick up, or she can only pick up so many passengers per day, right? And therefore, they're capped on the amount of impact that they can have. And of course, a taxi driver will see the impact they can have on the amount of passengers that they're helping arrive at the final destination successfully. And it's the same with a tutor, right? Or a teacher. The amount of impact and the success of that impact is the amount of students that the tutor or teacher can actually help, right? So if you're not attracting the right student, and let's break down the school day. Like students are in school from, let's say, 9 until 3:30, 4 p.m., right? So realistically, you're not, and of course you could homeschool students, that's cool, but majority of students are going to be in school and they're going to see tuition as that additional focus on them getting the edge, and that's where the parents are going to invest into a tutor as well, giving their kids the edge in their education by having tutoring and additional access to further education outside of schooling hours, right? So that's where the majority of your students are going to come from. So if we go on that time schedule for the students who are in school from 9 until 4, by the time they get home, realistically, you're not going to be able to start a lesson until 4 at the very earliest, right? And possibly 5 p.m. And let's say it is 4, let's just give it the benefit of doubt, 4 p.m. Well, then you can probably see 4 students a day, okay? If you were to tutor one-on-one, right? And so that's 4 students in one day, and that's back to back. Bearing in mind, if you're a teacher starting from scratch, you're going from school, having to rush home to then tutor online, you pretty much have got no life, right? And then how are you going to prep for your time in school as well? You're not. Okay, so you get stuck if you then take on these one-on-one students because you're unable to attract one specific student because you didn't niche down. Okay, so then you fill your timetable up 4 hours back to back each day of the week. Maybe you do weekends. You build a side hustle or a part-time thing, a glorified job where you're simply just stuck spinning your wheels. Okay, so the most important thing about niching down is to attract one type of student that can actually be grouped together. Because if I'm a tutor teaching reading, I could speak to kindergarten students, I could speak to first grade, second grade, third grade. But if I just decide to go pre-K, so pre-kindergarten, or even just kindergarten, let's say, or first grade, so let's say I just speak to first grade students. Hey, I'm only going to tutor first grade students. Well, now, if I make all of my marketing around that, who am I going to attract? I'm going to attract first grade students. So in the beginning, I'm going to get a few first grade students in, and they might be mixed ability for sure. And if I've only got a few students, I can differentiate as a teacher. If I'm not able to differentiate as a teacher with a few students in an online class, let's say 5 students, I just shouldn't even be a teacher in the first place, right? I need to work on my actual teaching skills and teaching skill sets. So you can bring in 5 first grade students who need help with their reading, and then you can bring in another 5, and you can group these students, right? Because they've all got the same age, they want help with the same subject, okay, the same skill of reading. Right? And now as I start to grow my business out, then I can start to segment that age range and subject based on ability. And I can create sets, okay? Top set, lower set, middle set, or whatever, just like you would do in a school, okay? And then I can place the students as I grow my business in the right set, okay? But the key behind this is, I'm going to show you some timetables a second on the screen. The main key behind this is it actually sets my business up for success to become a business, not a job. Because I'm not going to have to fill my schedule with one-on-one students because I attracted so many types of students, right? And so now I've got time to market. I've got time to take new enrollment calls. I've got time to actually probably get home after school if I am starting from scratch as a teacher and actually, take care of myself. Maybe you've got a family, I can take care of my kids before I go into these online tutoring lessons. And as I said at the start, it actually tees you up to actually make a full-time thing of this and earn an uncapped income potential, which I'll show you next. But if we just look on the screen here and we look at this, so here's an example of a tutor teaching one-on-one. This is a tutor who didn't manage to attract the right type of student, or they just got the model completely wrong and taught everyone one-on-one. Okay, so you can see what would happen here, right on the screen. You might have student 1, 2, 3, 4 on a Monday. Okay, here's an example. You filled your calendar up, and that's starting from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. To make a real go of this, you then have to do the same on a Tuesday, same on a Wednesday, same on a Thursday. Maybe you do a couple in the evening on a Friday, then maybe you even do some on a Saturday. Okay, so you're getting yourself fully booked. You're building a glorified job. You're becoming the taxi driver where the only way that they can grow, okay, and have more impact is to help more people. And there's obviously a limit and a cap on that. Okay, so you've got to attract the right type of student. Okay, you've got to focus and niche down on bringing one student in so that you can achieve a model like this, okay, with the group. So just here, now let's say, so if you look at my screen here, now if I was only teaching, and you can apply this to any subject that you teach, of course, let's say that I was only teaching first grade reading students, right? So on a Monday here, I might have group 1, group 2. Now let's say I have 5 students in a group. Okay, well, I've already impacted 10 students on one day in just 2 hours. And bear in mind, if you looked at the one-on-one timetable I showed you with the teachers who get this wrong and don't niche down and attract so many different types of students, well, it takes them up until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, until midway through the week on a Wednesday, and 10 hours of tutoring as opposed to just 2 to impact the same amount of students. Okay, and that just clearly doesn't make sense, right, when you compare the two. And so over the course of a week here, with me just tutoring 8 hours as a group tutor for attracting the right student, obviously you've got to get the students, and we're going to come on to that in a sec, but let's say I fill each group, 8 groups, 8 times 5, 40. I can impact 40 students. Now, dependent upon the subject that you teach, the age range, you could even teach more students in a group than that, right? So the impact that you can create from niching down by attracting the right student is incomparable when you get this right, okay? And that tees you up to, one, have more time for you, build a real business, okay? And so if we move on to the second step, which is the ability to price premium and stand out, that's the second reason why you need to niche down. Think of it this way. If I've got a back pain, I could go to my general practitioner, right? And he can give me, or she can give me, some general advice. Probably going to give me some paracetamol or, something to just Nurofen, ibuprofen, whatever it is, to just mask the pain. Okay. And they're going to give me that as a temporary short-term fix, right? Because they're a generalist. Whereas if I really want to get the back pain solved, what am I going to go and do? I'm going to Google a specialist. Now, a specialist at solving back pain is, of course, a chiropractor, right? Because I know that they're an expert. They've got a roadmap. They have a rehabilitation plan to help people cure and solve their back pain. And because of that, because I know that they're an expert and they're a specialist, I'm also going to pay more. Now, the reason why I pay more is because they're leading me to a certain result. And I have confidence and certainty in them because they are positioned as a specialist, a chiropractor. And so when you niche down as a tutor, this is what allows you to cut through the noise and bypass those big tutoring companies who appeal to everybody. And they can do that because they've got the marketing budgets. They don't have a limit on what they can invest. So when you're getting started with this, or even if you've got your first few batches of students, in order for you to keep growing, you need to appear as the specialist, okay? So that your marketing campaigns can actually stand out when you go to market. And so you don't blend in like a pebble on the beach, and you can build a compelling marketing offer and message around what you do, why you help this certain specific type of student, which then leads to your ability to price premium, okay? Rather than just a general tutor who's got a general website or a general service page that says they help everybody K through 12, okay? So when that happens, the parents or the students are always going to be looking and comparing the price that you charge your services to the other generalist tutoring company, okay? Whereas if they see you marketing a unique message, they see you as the specialist, they're going to want to pay more. And so here's how this can map out. And again, if you stick with me, I'll show you how this breaks down and how you can craft a unique, niched down tutoring offer to stand out and attract your ideal students. But just so you know, here's what this can lead to, right? So if we stuck with the same model shared with you in the beginning of not being able to attract the right type of student, you obviously end up tutoring one-on-one. Okay, so if you look at the one-on-one timetable here as an example, this is what would end up happening. Of course, there's going to be a limit to what you can charge in the one-on-one lesson. Now, average a tutor's probably going to charge is, like $50 an hour, probably, or £50 or whatever. Now, obviously you can charge more based on experience, but there's still going to be a cap, right? You're only ever going to be able to increase it to a certain limit, right? So you're capping what you can earn per hour. You're basically placing a price tag on your head, right? So let's just say it was $50. Well, over the course of the week with that same one-on-one schedule, the maximum then you're probably going to be earning on this level is like $1,000 a week, right? And if you times that by a month, sure, that's like $4,000. That's about the average teaching salary, right? Okay, but you have created a glorified job. You are the taxi driver still, okay, where you can only work more, take more passengers to earn more and impact more, okay? And there's going to be a limit to that. Whereas if you're positioned as the expert, not only can you increase your rate, but you can see here on the group-based model, now this is at bare minimum of what you would be able to earn in a group, okay? So let's say that you would also change the model on how you're pricing your services too, because instead of pricing it per hour and talking about what an hour of tutoring costs, you're able to then project a longer agreement time with the students and commitment time, okay? So for example, I send my daughter to an extracurricular club in her school. Let's say it's basketball, it's one of the clubs she goes to. They charge by the term, right? So by the semester. And so of course, we pay by the semester or the term. I don't then call them up and send them a message, oh, hey, my daughter's not able to attend next week's lesson because we're away or she's ill or whatever. So they don't have to deal with cancellation fees. I'm always paying up front for the term, and that's how it works. Right? So now you can price your services like this as a tutor, and you can price by the term, semester, or just a 12-week block, for example. And let's say you priced it at $500 or £500 for 12 weeks. Each group has one lesson a week, and that's it. Okay, now if you were to divide those 12 lessons that they would get over each week, each group, and they pay $500 or £500, that's $41.66. That's what it would work out to per class. So let's just call it $40 or £40. So now here, based on the same model we spoke about above, each group, if you had 5 students in a group, 5 times 40 is 200. So you'd now be earning, based on the rate that you've charged, at £500 for the 12 weeks, which I said is bare minimum. That's an absolute bargain, okay, for the parent and student. And of course, you can increase your rate from that. We have many tutors and teachers that we work with charging way more than that. That would just be an ideal start point. But you can see what this does to your ability to increase the amount that you're earning per hour that you're teaching, okay? Plus, as I said to you, comparing it to the extracurricular club that I send my daughter to, you don't have to deal with reschedules. You don't have to deal with cancellations. So your income potential now is completely uncapped, okay? As well as the impact. And you're not selling your time. Because now I've got tons more time that I can fill in my schedule, which means I can either replace my teaching salary quickly. So this same model, that's $2,000 across the week, right? $1,600 with 8 groups. Okay, if I had 10, then that would be $2,000, right? Times that by 4, across the month. Well, then, I'm easily hitting like 8 to 10K, okay, based on something like that, okay? So your ability to attract the right students is the key behind niching down, so you can set up the right model in your business. The second reason is so you appear as the specialist, so you can create a compelling marketing message that we're about to come on to, which is going to allow you better margins and everything like that for marketing, so you don't blend in like a pebble on the beach. And if you do attract the right students, and you are the specialist, you're going to be able to charge more in the right model, okay, which we've just covered that. Okay, so that's reason number 2.
Guys, quick interrupt. I hope you're enjoying the video, but I wanted to make sure you picked up your copy of Teaching on Your Own Terms. It's my best-selling book, and it shares with you the exact 5 steps that I've used with over 2,000 teachers at this point, helping them build their dream online teaching businesses. It went to bestseller in 7 categories. It's been featured by NASDAQ in Times Square, New York City. And I know you're going to love it. Inside of the book, you're going to learn things like how to position yourself as the go-to tutor in the marketplace and the offer that you can create to get your ideal students reaching out and how to communicate that. I'll share with you what I've seen as the best advertising strategies to get in front of new students and parents who want what you've got, how to sell your services, and everything you actually need to include in an online group tutoring business to make sure your students crush it and get great results. There's some free gifts and bonuses in there. I think in the first couple of pages, there's a link. You can go and grab some free gifts on me. But I know you're going to love it. Teaching on Your Own Terms. I'll leave a link down below in the comments and go and pick up your copy today.
So reason number 3 is being able to build a winning marketing offer, because now you've got a unique thing to talk about, which is going to penetrate through all of the noise on social media when you come to market your business. Okay, so let's break this down and I'll share with you. So when we work with our teachers, the come and our private coaching clients, for example, the first thing that we'll sit down and do with the teacher is help them build what we call a signature tutoring offer to attract the right student, to make sure we're appearing to be the specialist so we can attract the right students that actually pay us a premium that can be grouped together. Okay, and then after that, we can build a winning marketing campaign, advertising copy, videos, everything off of this. Okay, so for example, here's some, if you look at my screen, here's some example signature tutoring offers. And so I'll break down what you're looking to achieve and what you're looking to identify. And I'll give you a fill in the blank template as well for your tutoring niche or subject. So top one, I help year 10 and 11 students who want to see a 1 to 2 grade increase in GCSE maths in half the time it would take at school, so they can secure a place in a top 6 form and go on to build their dream career. Number 2, I help high school students ace their ACTs so they can gain scholarships to the top schools in America. I help 1st to 3rd grade students read above grade level so they can perform at the top of their class in every subject. I help GCSE students become fluent in Spanish so they can see a jump 2 grades before their exams, gain entry into a top 6 form. I help guitar students learn to play their favorite songs in just 12 weeks so they can feel like rock stars. So I'm going to break down what makes and what contributes towards a signature tutoring offer here. So you're looking to demonstrate 5 things. Okay, 1, what you teach. So the first thing you do is you niche down on the subject. Okay. The second thing you do when it comes to niching down is niche down on the students within that subject. This could be done on age range, could be done on ability level as well. Okay. So for example, let's have a look at these two things here. What you teach, math, and the students. So if we look at this first one at the top, there's the students. There's the who. Okay. Which students are we helping? Year 10 and 11 students. So in the UK, that's like 14 to 16-year-olds. Okay. Taking their GCSEs. Okay. The next bit is the subject, of course. So you've got the subject here in GCSE math. Okay, so we've ticked off those first two elements. But the next bit then is what result you help your students achieve. So remember when I spoke about the chiropractor example, then the chiropractor is helping her patients cure their back pain, right? And become back pain free. Well, the students, there's a specific result that you need to then market to them, right, on what they're wanting to attain. What are they desiring in their studies? Okay. So if you can quantify that and make it tangible, so there's a clear end point, you've got something way stronger to market. So here, a grade 7 to 9 in GCSE math might be an example. If we go back at the top, a 1 to 2 grade increase, right? If you know as a teacher, you're able to help your students quickly achieve a 1 to 2 grade increase, or again, if it's a language, become fluent, or if it's a musical instrument, learn to play the first song, whatever it is, pass a music exam. That's what you're looking to market here. Okay. Now, the next bit is why the result is important. Okay. So students or whatever, if it's a guitar, they don't just want to learn to play the favorite song on the guitar or their first song just so that they can do it. There's a reason why they want to learn to play the guitar, just like there's a reason why parents might want their child to be able to read on grade level, right? Is it to impact all other subjects? Is it for status? They want them to be top of the class. You need to be able to articulate and communicate the benefit to your students when it comes to niching down. So just here you can see this top one, so they can secure a place in a top 6 form. So it's essentially the result beyond the result, the dream outcome. We call it the big benefit. Okay, so there's 4 things. That's the main part of being able to niche down, because now you can attract the right type of student. And if you're speaking to them like this, you become essentially their chiropractor, right? And now bonus points, how you help your students. This matters more when you're speaking to students, parents, on enrollment calls, things like that, and also to make your advertising and marketing copy once you start to market your business be more compelling, right? And so if I was to go and see a chiropractor to improve my back pain, and let's say that I had back pain, if they were to show me a rehabilitation plan that clearly demonstrated the roadmap on what we were going to do to solve this back pain, I'm going to have more trust, I have more belief. I'm essentially paying for the treatment plan, the rehabilitation plan, because I've got trust in it. I've got certainty in it that it's going to help me become back pain free. And so as a teacher, if you can now demonstrate a unique methodology, a unique learning method of what you would do with your students at point A, B, C, D, E, whatever, to help them achieve that grade increase or play the song on the guitar, it positions you much stronger. Okay. If you look at these big marketing companies, so big tutoring companies who are marketing, and you to go and look at what they do, it's very bland. It's very, boring. They're not marketing something very specific, right? But as I said, they've got big budgets. Okay. They've got a bigger marketing budget, so they don't need to. They can come across as more generic. Whereas you, as the online tutor looking to grow and scale, then you need to show why you're different. And one of the ways that you can do that when you niche down is create a unique roadmap for your students. And this just comes from your teaching experience, right? And what you believe in is the best route to success for your students. So if you were to sit down opposite a parent and student and say, hey, little Jimmy's got this problem in his reading. In order to fix it, here's what we're going to do first, second, third, okay? And that's the roadmap. And the parents are going to want to pay for that. The students are going to want to pay for it if you're speaking to an adult learner or an older student. So I've got a template that you can fill in here. I help, think about the year group, the age range of students, okay? Achieve big result. And this can incorporate the year group and the subject, like year 10 and 11 students, as I showed you above, taking GCSE math. So really kind of summarize the student and the subject in that sentence. What do you help them achieve? What is the main immediate result that they're after? Okay, in their learning. What's the result beyond the result? The big benefit. If you can, what is their kind of main roadblock, or what's their main frustration? Is it like the stress and anxiety? Is it spending hours studying or whatever? And you can add that in for bonus points, but at least this, if you can answer all of them, build it into a power sentence like I've done here, that's going to go a long way, because now you can continuously start to market this and build any marketing material around this, and you'll stand out because you've niched down. Like the right students are going to pay you more, have the right business model because you can group the students and impact more. All right, now we call these offer accelerators. So essentially just pimping up, or, making your offer stand out more, making it better. And so what you can do here if you read this, like to strengthen your offer and make it more attractive, you can add certain elements like guarantees, scarcity, bonus, reduced pricing strategies, timing. So I'll give you an example. Reducing the time to get a result is important because people want things quickly in this day and age, right? They don't want to wait, okay? So a time delay. You saw what I added at the top. In half the time it would take at school. This is what makes the niching down and the offer when I come to market better. Okay, now you might need to obviously have some experience and validated your teaching methods before you go ahead and put a time delay in there and market that. So just know that this is completely optional. You might need to gain some experience and help and teach some students online first, and then you can go and improve your offer, because niching down will just have an immediate impact anyway. So if you can do this, your marketing will generate better results. That's just facts, okay? So, but as I was saying, if you're just getting started, add it in later down the line once you've got some case studies, some initial results, and you've helped some students, okay? So here's an example of this. I help 1st, 7th to 9th grade students. So we've got very clear on the who. So I've niched down there, and we've got very clear on the subject, SAT math, okay? And we've got very clear on the result, 1,500, okay? And then we've got clear on the bigger benefit, secure scholarships to top colleges. Now I've added into here, look, a time delay, studying just 3 hours a week, or that could essentially be the big fear or frustration. Because remember, your parents and students, one of their roadblocks might be their ability to study more. Okay, and maybe they haven't got much time. So if you can make it easier, like the easier you can make it, and obviously you have to be able to deliver upon this, that's going to make your niching down your marketing offer much better. And so by studying 3 hours a week, this makes it sound much easier, right? It's got a time delay to it. Plus, if you can add a guaranteed score improvement in 30 days, I can remove all of the risk. Your next month is free. And the reason why this would work, obviously you would have a start assessment, end assessment for the 30 days. I'm not promising in 30 days they're going to get the 1,500 score, but I know if I can get in front of my students for 30 days, okay, and they have a lesson a week, can I help them get a score improvement and show an improvement? I would hope so, right? So you can track that. And I wouldn't recommend this perhaps doing it in the beginning unless you've got experience on this. They're saying this is something you can add in down the line. Okay, but once you've validated that and you know your students online see an improvement, perhaps in a 30-day period, you can then put a solid guarantee in place like this. Whereas if they don't see that improvement, the next month perhaps becomes free. Okay, so you can definitely add that in. So here's a fill in the blank offer accelerator based signature tutoring offer. Okay, so I help, again, the students, what subject, achieve specific academic goals or result in the subject by studying, just time commitment, just 3 hours a week per week, guaranteed improvement in time frame, or your next month is free. Okay, so there's just an example of how you could make a signature tutoring offer stand out more by adding in a few offer accelerators. Now, I'm going to show you what I've done here. So when it comes to making your marketing convert, now you've niched down, here's how you apply this to an example advertising copy. This is one that I personally wrote for one of our clients. So if you look here, here's an example advertising copy. Parents, I'll help your primary school child start reading at or above grade level this summer. So who's the student? Primary school-based students. Now, the reason why this teacher could market to all of primary school aged is because they already had some teachers working with them, right? So they could place the students in different tutors' timetables. Whereas if it's just you, you probably want to niche down further as you're beginning and go for a specific year group in primary school or elementary school, okay? But this teacher was already a little bit further along in their business, so they had other teachers that they could pass the students to and fill the timetables of the tutors that were working with them. Okay, start reading at or above grade level. So the result is clear, at or above grade level. Okay, time this summer. Okay, offer accelerator here. If they don't improve in 30 days, I'll keep teaching them for free all summer until they do. All right. Now here is how we can help. So remember I mentioned further up about building the signature tutoring offer. If you can add in a roadmap, then you're going to stand out even more when you come to build your marketing campaigns. So you can just see here, here's how we can help. The first thing we're going to do is discover your child's strengths, weaknesses, and learning style. Then we're going to elevate their reading with engaging lessons that boost their comprehension and confidence. So the first thing is identifying strengths and weaknesses, okay, and their learning style so that they could locate knowledge gaps. Second thing is they're boosting comprehension in their reading and confidence. And now we're doing skill reinforcement. Look at step 3. Finally, we strive to reinforce those skills until reading becomes easy, enjoyable, and automatic. It's called the reading mastery method. Okay. So there's an example of an advertising copy. And obviously I've blanked out the tutoring name, and this is what tutors would then use. And this is very specific who we're calling out. Yeah. So primary school students in years 1 to 6, what they're wanting to do, read on grade level this summer. How could it be improved? Well, it could be improved by then marketing. So if they're talking about the summer, they could improve it by creating a much more bigger benefit, right? So grade level this summer so that they close all of their knowledge gaps for the academic year, which means they end the year top of the class, something like that, right? Or they go back to school in the fall with the edge in their education so they can perform top of the class in all other subjects. So they can definitely create like a bigger benefit around it. It could even be to learn to love reading, and they could market and they could create a message around how reading is a fundamental skill, a key skill that influences everything in life. And they could create some messaging around that. Okay. So there's how you then put it into a marketing offer and how you call out your ideal parents and students. And this is going to go a long way to helping you build a profitable, a long-term sustainable online tutoring business by attracting the right students. And it comes from niching down. So there's 3 reasons why tutors should niche down. If you enjoyed that, you took some value from it, wherever you're watching the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see. Or if you haven't picked up a copy of my best-selling book yet, Teaching on Your Own Terms, I go further into this on how you can position yourself as an expert and go-to tutor to start attracting your ideal students. We talk about pricing strategies, everything inside of my best-selling book, Teaching on Your Own Terms. So you can click the link somewhere around this video and you can probably go and get a copy, or you can just go to teachonyourownterms.com and grab a copy today. I know it's going to be one of the best reads of your teaching career if you haven't picked it up yet. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next video.